Happy Monday, everyone. You know what it is. It's another edition of Clutch Sports Talk Live with me, Ryan Flowers. It's Monday. It's the beginning of the week. Oh, man, it's just, it sucks sometimes just getting up, but we got to do what we got to do. But I'm also here to kind of brighten up your day and try to get you through the week. This is the Monday edition of Clutch Sports Talk Live with me, Ryan Flowers, man. As usual, I got lots to talk about today. It's going to be NFL dominated as usual because we got a lot going on in the NFL. We're going to talk about Tom Brady. Is he the GOAT? Some people may disagree. Some people might agree. Aaron Rodgers, what does the future have in store for him? He had some kind of schneid comments in a press interview yesterday after the loss last night to Tampa Bay. What else? We got the Kansas City Chiefs just doing great things as usual, turning on that switch on and off. Matt LaFleur, head coach of the Green Bay Packers, what were you thinking in the fourth quarter? And then also, what's on the horizon for the Buffalo Bills fans and Packer fans? And lastly, I want to remember Kobe Bryant because it's almost a year ago tomorrow. He lost his life. Him and his daughter lost their lives in that tragic helicopter accident in Calabasas, California. So lots to get into tonight. So make sure you guys stick tuned. This is Clutch Sports Talk Live with me, Ryan Flowers. Let's go. Clutch Sports Talk Live with Ryan Flowers is presented by All Pro Digital Sports, the future in sports media content. Let's go. All right, welcome back in, man. Like I said, happy Monday to you guys. Hope you guys' day went pretty well and your evening is going to be even better. I'm going to get you guys ready to go tonight. This is another Monday edition of Clutch Sports Talk Live with me, Ryan Flowers. If you're in the room, make sure you drop a comment. Just say what's up. You ain't got to say too much. Just, say hi, bye. You like the show, you don't like the show. Whatever it is, I'll be sure to answer your questions and comments and concerns. Just to get some housekeeping news out the way, on the bottom right there, you see it scrolling across. Those are where you guys can catch me on some of my social media platforms. It's real simple. Instagram is at clutch.sports.talk. Instagram is at clutch_talk. YouTube, real simple. Just type in Clutch Sports Talk. I'm like the first thing that pops up. Other than that, man, it's pretty legit. Also hit me up on the All Pro Digital YouTube page as well as the Instagram page, which is all listed down there below. So that's it. That's a mouthful. So hope you guys are doing well, man. It's cold and rainy. What's up, Jason? Jason's in the house, man. Long time no see. Appreciate you, brother. Hope the family is doing well. But we got a jam-packed show for you guys today. I'm just clicking through because I'm a one-man band. I'm doing everything over here on my end. But let's just get down to the nitty-gritty. So I was on All Pro Access last night, the other show that I'm co-host with Jack Rittenauer. And the debate came up about Tom Brady and is he the GOAT? I am part of the group that believes that, yes, he's the GOAT. It doesn't mean I'm like, oh my God, I love Tom Brady. It doesn't mean that. It just means that I recognize game. I respect what he's done. I mean, think about it. He's going to his 10th Super Bowl, 10 Super Bowls. Okay. That's more than every team in the National Football League, if I'm not mistaken, or I'm close to it. If I'm not, I don't know off the top of my head, but come on, man. And not only is he doing it, he's doing it with a new team in a new division in a pandemic season. You got to give him respect for that. Now, did he play great yesterday? Okay. He had 3 interceptions in the second half, but he also did make some really good throws in the first half. So I'm not going to kind of use that to say he's not the GOAT. But if you just look at what he was able to do, man, for such a long period of time, and to be 42, 43 years old, man, like you can't deny that. And I was telling people in the comments last night, I said, hey, no disrespect, but hey, if you can't see that this guy is great, and if not the greatest, only because, he's got so much talent on his team. Yes, that's part of it, of course. I mean, and like I said last night, you're gonna if you're gonna be a championship caliber team or type player, you're gonna be surrounded with other great players. Name me one team that has all sorry players and has won a championship. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. So Tom Brady for me definitely is the GOAT, man. I mean, all day, what's up, Tracy Bartholomew, man? Appreciate you. Hope you're doing all right, brother. Hanging safe in there. But yeah, Tom Brady's the GOAT. I mean, you can't deny that. I mean, there's other guys that people talk about, Joe Montana. Yeah, he's good. I mean, he's up there too. He's arguably one of the greatest of all time. Jerry Rice, he's arguably one of the greatest of all time. There's so many players, but if you want to just base it off of a few things, and this is what I'm basing it off of, because before I do that, if you just talk about quarterbacking, you minus out the physical, the winning and all that. Is he the greatest quarterback? No. But if you want to include certain other topics such as winning, leadership, you got to include those. And I feel like that's what makes him the greatest of all time. No, he doesn't have the strongest arm. No, he can't run as fast as some other quarterbacks, but the guy is a winner. He is a winner. What's Jason got to say? I wasn't, but what he did in Tampa, I have to agree with. Yeah, he is. So when you look at what he's been able to do now, most of his career obviously has been in New England. For those who don't know, Tom Brady's been a Patriot. Will probably retire and go into the Hall of Fame as a New England Patriot. Literally, he was drafted, I believe, 7th round or something like that. No one even thought about him. And to see where he's at now, you're talking about 5, 6 Super Bowl rings, 10 Super Bowl appearances. He's got 30 something plus playoff wins, more than most teams. Hell, he's got more playoff wins than the Dallas Cowboys has since 1995. So he's a one-man band for the most part. Now, he's had teams where he's had decent receivers. The really one year that he had a legit receiver at for his disposal was the Randy Moss season, and that's the year that they went undefeated and they lost. Okay, so they didn't win the Super Bowl, but still. But he's throwing guys to Damon Patton, Troy Brown. Like, who are these guys? Now, he did have Gronk. He did have Aaron Hernandez at one point. Okay, so be it. He's still the quarterback. He's still pulling trigger. He still has to make the plays. And now the argument where people saying now, oh, well, he's got Mike Evans. He's got Chris Godwin. He's got Gronk. He's got Leonard Fournette. He's got AB. Slow down. Just slow down. Just a little bit. I get all that. And I appreciate that. But the dude is, he's 43 years old, people, and he's going to play in a Super Bowl 2 weeks from yesterday. Like, don't be a hater. Don't be a hate. You know what I'm saying? Like my dad always says, William Flowers, he'll say, hey, don't hate, appreciate. That's all you can do at this point, man, is just appreciate what Tom Brady is able to do. I get it. You don't like him. Yes. Has he cheated? He probably has. Okay, I understand that. But look, I want to tell you right now, look into the depths of your soul right now. Have you ever cheated before? Have you ever tried to get an advantage in something? Whether it's immoral or not, you've done it. The rules don't automatically just change because he's an NFL player. I'm pretty sure other teams and other organizations have gotten edges just like that. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying that. They just get caught a lot. And I get that. So some people say, well, there's an asterisk. Okay, that's fine. But you still can't deny the fact that this man literally, he divorces himself from the New England Patriots. Okay. Jet goes down to Tampa. They win 11 games. They in his first year. This team was 7-9 last year, pretty much with the same roster, with the exception of AB, Gronk, and Leonard Fournette. Pretty much the same roster. Now, AB didn't come really until like week 9, 10, or I think 11. I think he got his first start in week 12. Okay, Gronk was going on and off. Okay, Leonard Fournette is finally trying to get things going with the running game. So, man, look, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but I'm just going to say, don't hate on Tom Brady. So, what we got going on here? Okay, what's up? This is my aunt from Belize. Shout out to Alejandra Jimenez. That's my aunt. Yeah, I'm Belizean. I'm half Belizean. Yeah, so we represent. I'm international. Mr. Pitbull, you got to step aside. I'm Mr. International now. So Belize in the house. Appreciate you guys. We got Sandy Marie. She's always representing. I appreciate her. Yeah, make sure you guys just keep those comments coming and questions, man. Appreciate you guys. But yeah, I'm just gonna wrap it up on this with Tom Brady. If you don't think he's the GOAT, let me know who you think the GOAT is, and we can have an honest discussion about that. And I'm not going to try to change your mind, and I'm not trying to change your mind now. I'm just trying to put out the facts and what the facts are, and this is what it is. So, some people say, oh, well, Drew Brees. Okay, Drew Brees is good. I love Drew Brees. First ballot Hall of Famer. Is he the GOAT? I don't think so. He just got outdueled by an older quarterback. So, no shot at the Saints fans because I love Drew Brees. I think Drew Brees is awesome. So what's up? William Flowers says if he doesn't touch another, I'm assuming, ball for the rest of his life, he already established himself as the greatest of all time. It doesn't matter who wins the Super Bowl. That will have no bearing on Tom Brady's career. Absolutely. Shout out to Dad for that. And I was having a conversation late last night with a good friend of mine. The only thing that he said is that he felt that it may have tarnished his career by going down to Tampa. I get that because he was drafted by the Patriots. He stayed in the Patriots, maybe. But if he wins the Super Bowl, man, there's no doubt that he's the greatest of all time because you got to look at Tom Brady and LeBron in the same fashion. Yes, I know they play two different sports, but what basically what Tom Brady is doing is what LeBron trying to win on every team that he's been on. And if Tom Brady, I mean, you can kind of say he's won, but if he wins a championship, Super Bowl Sunday against Kansas City, it's going to be hard to say that he's not the greatest of all time. And who's to say who is the greatest of all time? And the old heads out there, oh, Jim Brown. Okay, I get it. Jim Brown was a legend. I get all that, but he ain't Tom Brady, bro. And believe me, it pains me in my soul because I never did like the Patriots, but I respect them because it's hard to do what they were able to do. And now with Tom Brady leaving, they're finding out that it's really hard to win in this league because it's hard in the National Football League to win, man. I mean, you look at teams like Jacksonville, they won one game. And you know when they won that first game? Week 1. They lost every game the rest of the season. It's hard. It's hard to get where these guys are at. So the fact that this man uproots his family, moves to Florida, and starts with a new team, new weapons, new everything for the most part, new environment, and gets his team to 11 wins, and now they're in the Super Bowl. Mind you, they had to play 3 wild card road games. Yeah. So I'm going to close it out like that. Sandy, I'm pretty sure of your thoughts on Big Ben. Big Ben, he'll go down as a Hall of Famer. He's got 2 Super Bowls, but I don't think he's not in that category of greatest of all time. I'm sorry, Sandy, and I love you to death, but Big Ben cannot be in that argument for greatest of all time. I mean, honestly, right now, the guys that are kind of still left around who I can say can be greatest of all time category, in no particular order, probably Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers and probably Peyton Manning. And I know he hasn't played in a few years, but like those are the guys kind of like right now or in this last couple 5 to 6, 7 years. But Big Ben, sorry, he just is. I like Big Ben, but he needs to go and hit it. He needs to go find a Planet Fitness somewhere or EOS and get back in shape, and then maybe we can talk about that. So I'll leave it at that. So Tom Brady's the GOAT. I don't want to hear it anymore. That's it. All right. So Aaron Rodgers loses again in a conference championship game, um, in a disappointing fashion again. And I mean, I think he's 1-3 in conference championship games, and the one that he did win was against the Chicago Bears with a Jay Cutler who was hurt, and he ended up beating Caleb Haney in the NFC Conference Championship game the year they won the Super Bowl. So it's not like he's had like great success because he didn't play well in that game either. But Aaron Rodgers, man, he's one of these guys. He's super talented. He could be considered one of the greatest, depending on who you talk to. He's one of the best throwers of the ball that I've ever seen in my lifetime. And I've seen a lot of quarterbacks play, super confident, almost kind of jerkish confident in a sense. What's the word? Very egotistical. But what's next for him? Of course, the Packers are going to want to keep him. I know they drafted Jordan Love from Utah State in this last year's draft. He didn't even dress that much this year. I don't even know if he was even like the 3rd or 4th backup. So I don't know what was the reasoning in that, maybe to kind of influence him a little bit to play better, excuse me. Now, he did play better. He had an MVP caliber type season, and more likely he will win the MVP. So it's going to be interesting now, because if you didn't hear the comments after he said, after the game, he interviewed with the press, he kind of made it felt like he was uncertain about his future and what he plans on doing. Now, was he kind of putting a little extra on it? Absolutely. Because guys like him, that's what they do. They're kind of front runners. When everything is good and it's vibing, they're the best. They're happy. But when they lose, it's like instantly, dude, like they just crash. And, I get it. You lost in an NFC championship game. It sucks. We've all lost. We've all taken that L at some point in our life. But the way he was acting like he lost a family member. You know what I mean? I get it. These guys pour their heart and soul into this. So I don't want to go kind of too in on him for that. But you got to watch the interview. I mean, literally, he was acting like he didn't know if he was going to ever touch a football ever again. That's the sentiment I got from him. What is he going to do now? I mean, are the Packers viable? Are they going to be good? Yes, they're always going to be good while he's there. But while he's there, can they make it to that next Super Bowl? I don't think so. I think that window is pretty much, it's gone. I think it's closed up. You got, it's hard to win in the NFL. Like I just said, a few minutes ago, And the fact that he's getting older, you know, they're probably gonna have to move on from Aaron Jones. They can't afford to probably pay him and keep Aaron Rodgers and keep these other guys that they need to be sustainable in the seasons to come. Aaron Rodgers, to me, he's a great player, but I think he does have a ceiling, and he's at that ceiling at this point. Hey, Jen, how's it going? Yeah, Jen in the house. Shout out to all the teachers, man, because she's out there doing her thing. Doing it. So shout out to Jen out there in the OC representing. Jen, what school do you teach? If you want to put that out there, and I'll shout you guys out. What up, Diddy? Diddy Simpson, man, how you doing, brother, man? Congratulations on all the success out there. If you don't know, I lived in Texas, Dallas, Texas, and Diddy Simpson. You got to check him out. If you do live in Texas, or if you ever go to the Texas, Dallas area, I believe he's in the Oak Cliff area now. This dude could cut, man. He's serious barber skills, and he can dance. So get out there, man. So good to see him in the room, man. Appreciate him stopping by. But yeah, check him out. Diddy Slim's barbershop out there, man. So yeah, man, getting a lot of love tonight, man. I'm glad to see some old faces, some new faces. This is what this show is all about. So I appreciate you guys stopping in, man. But yeah, back to my Aaron Rodgers thoughts. It's they're going to be good again. They're going to win 9-10 games for sure next season. I don't even looked at the schedule yet because they got Aaron Rodgers. Then the division isn't the best. It's not the greatest. You got the Vikings who are up and down. The Lions, they hired a WWE person. I mean, Dan Campbell, excuse me, the head coach there. He's going to be biting kneecaps. Who else is in that division? The Bears, unless they get a quarterback, they're kind of pretty much where they're at. So that division is super winnable for sure. So they're going to get in the playoffs. But do they have enough? You saw yesterday in that game, Tampa Bay just tried to take away Devontae Adams, which for the most part they did. I think Aaron Rodgers was like 1 for 7 in the red zone trying to go to him. They did an outstanding job. And I'm going to talk about this one play later on in the show. But let's see. We got a question from Jen OC. Do you think Aaron Rodgers will want a trade because of differences with LaFleur? Good question. Yes, I would not put that past him. Aaron Rodgers is a sneaky dude, right? And with sneaky guys, you got to watch your back because he comes off like he's kind of fake, right? He's that dude that when you see him in public, it's like, hey, what's up? It's all love, like whoop-de-woo, wah-da-wah, you know what I'm saying? But then like as soon as you turn around, he's like, see, that dude Ryan is a punk, right? You know that, right? See, but then you turn around, oh man, hey, how's the kids? How's the family? Like I can see him maybe going to management and saying, you know what, I want to trade. I want out of here. You guys can go and have your quarterback, Jordan Love, and move forward with him. I can see him doing that. Will it happen? I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did something like that. And I think that's maybe what he was probably alluding to in those post-game interviews is that he kind of has to reconsider what he wants to do. And maybe he realized last night, it's like, I can't win another championship here in Green Bay. And he's absolutely right. You can't. You're not going to get a lot of really talented free agents because no offense to Green Bay. I've never been there, but I heard it's a lovely town. No one wants to go to Green Bay. You don't. No real attractive free agent's going to want to go there because they can't even pay. They don't even have an owner. The fans own the team, if I'm not mistaken. It's obviously it's one of the best franchises to probably play for as far as like fandom, but do you really want to go there? Who wants to go and spend, 6 to 8 months in Green Bay and the only outsource or resources or outlets to go and have fun is Applebee's? Like you can only eat so many riblets at some point in time, right? So, I mean, I don't know, but yeah, that's a good question, Jen. I can definitely see him asking a trade from LaFleur because I don't know. I think they still have some type of underlining like jostling for position. He's Aaron Rodgers. He's like, I'm Aaron Rodgers. I got a Super Bowl. I've been here. Well, da 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 da. And LaFleur is like, well, look, I'm the head coach. Like, I'm doing my thing. We're winning playoff games. I've been to back-to-back NFC Conference Championship games. Like, I'm riding the ship. I'm running the ship here. So yes, I can see that. I can definitely see that. So, which leads me to this, a segue into that. So thanks, Jen, for the segue. So some costly decisions last night in that game for the Packers between Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers. For those you don't remember, about 2 minutes and 11 seconds, I think it was 3rd down and 10, if I'm not mistaken. Aaron Rodgers, they were on the 8-yard line. Aaron Rodgers drops back. He literally has an avenue to probably get a touchdown if he decides to tuck the ball and run it in. But for some reason, he stops, turns, and throws cross-body trying to hit, I believe, Devontae Adams. The ball goes incomplete. It leaves the decision now to Matt LaFleur to kick the field goal, which brings you from being down 8-5, or to go for it for fourth and 11 with about 2 minutes and just a little bit, some 2 minutes and change left in the game. So about Aaron Rodgers, then I'll tackle Matt LaFleur's decision. I don't know what he was thinking. I watched that play over at least 25 times, and I'm not kidding you. He literally could have outran that defender, or it would have been really close. And I'm pretty sure they would have given it to him. But again, a cocky guy like that, he believes so much in his arm. He felt that he can just, instead of making the smart play, he tried to go for the splashy play. And it bit him in the butt. I mean, it really bit him in the butt. And unfortunately, it led to a series of events that pretty much undermined the rest of that game for them. Now, I'm not saying that lost them the game. There were some other plays. I mean, look, I've never been a big fan of saying, oh, that play lost them the game. No, you got 60 minutes in a game, so there's tons of opportunities for you to win the game. I'm not going to base it off of one call or one decision, but I will say in a game heavily contested, you got to make the smart play. And he didn't make the smart play. He threw across the body back to the middle of the defense, which they were pretty much waiting with open arms. And they batted the ball down. And that leads to now Matt LaFleur. Okay, now you had your chance with Aaron Rodgers. Now what does he do? Here's the scenario. It's 2 minutes, I believe, and like 8 seconds left or something like that. He's thinking, well, we got the 2-minute warning coming up. We still got 3 timeouts, and our defense has kind of been better in the second half. They did force 3 turnovers from Tom Brady. Maybe we can get the ball back and try to drive the field and get it with Aaron Rodgers and get the 2-point conversion to tie the game. Here's what I have the problem with that with Matt LaFleur. And I get it. I coach football. I've been in situations. It's a lot going on in your mind. And I don't think a lot of people realize what these guys are going through. And I just coach youth football. I can only imagine what it's like in the NFL. I'm not justifying, but what I was trying to rationalize what he was thinking. But when you look at it, it's like, dude, it's 4th down. You're down 8, 2 minutes left. You have the MVP pretty much in the league right now. You kick the field goal, you still need the ball back, and then you still need a touchdown anyway. And not only do you need the ball back to score, but say you do score, or say you do stop them after you kick the field goal, which they end up getting the field goal, and they cut the lead down to 5. But guess what? You're not going to start from the 8-yard line. If you stop the Buccaneers, they're going to punt it. I don't know where you're going to get the ball, but you're not going to start on the 8-yard line. Why not just go ahead, take the chance, do it again, see if you get the touchdown. Worst case scenario, you still need to get the ball back and score a touchdown anyway. So, he, in his mind, he thought he was doing what was best. But I think in the minds of most Americans or anybody that watched that game, it was definitely a big whoops, my bad on that one. And really, it should have never happened, because you're an NFL coach. You're making millions of dollars. You got to make these key decisions, executive decisions, but honestly, it shouldn't even boil down to that, because Aaron Rodgers should have just ran the ball, would have got the touchdown anyway. Now we'll never know now if he would have converted on the 2-point conversion, but there were some other questionable calls, because early on, I believe in the 3rd quarter, they went for 2 when they probably just should have kicked the field goal. They ended up not getting it. So it's like you were aggressive then, but in the time that you needed to be aggressive, like for real, you weren't aggressive. So to me, that didn't make any sense. It's like, you got to just be you. And I think a lot of times these guys, coaches, players, they start getting outside of who they are. Just do you. Do what got you to that point, man. Because at the end of the day, that's all you can trust. And that's anything in life. I always tell people, man, for the most part, you just got to be you, man. I mean, really, so yeah, right. If he didn't throw that interception, exactly. So there was a lot of factors in that game. Those weren't the factors that kind of decided the game. But because, Packers defense didn't play exceptionally well in the first half. The offense didn't play well in the second half. I mean, literally, if your defense forces 3 turnovers and you don't really capitalize on that, that's, those are the types of things ultimately that ended up losing the game for the Packers. Not those two particular decisions made by the player and the coach, just all other things. I mean, even the touchdown before the half. Kevin King, what are you doing? It's like 5 seconds left in the half. Why aren't you just playing back in a prevent? Why are you jamming or trying to press up on a receiver, Scotty Miller, and Tom Brady does what he needs to do and throws the ball, touchdown. So it's things like that. So I don't always want to say, oh, well, that play lost him the game, but there's definitely things that decided that game well on before those two decisions were made by the player and the coach. Yeah. So we're just moving right along. So Kansas City, Tampa Bay, they're moving on. They still have a chapter in their storybook season to write, but two other teams, they're going fishing. Buffalo Bills fall to the Kansas City Chiefs, and obviously Green Bay loses to Tampa Bay. So I'll give the Packers a break for a second. I'll talk about the Bills. What to look forward to? The Buffalo Bills, like I said last night on All Pro Access, dude, you guys need a running game. Like, you can't, your quarterback should not be leading, unless you're Lamar Jackson, and that's a whole nother topic. Your quarterback should not be leading your team in rushing yards, period. They had a great season. The Buffalo Bills they resurrected their franchise. They're not, this laughing stock in the NFL anymore, especially in the AFC East now, because the Patriots are done. Now they may have to compete with the Dolphins, who are trying to get better themselves. But you have your quarterback. You got your number one receiver in Stephon Diggs. You need to go ahead and add some more pieces, preferably in the running back position. Another running back. I do like Singletary. I do like him, but they need another bigger type of bruising running back because they got to run the football. They have to. Josh Allen, to me, yesterday, he didn't play bad, but he didn't overwhelm me. I wasn't like, oh, yeah. Like, when you're watching a game or that's not even sports. When you see something great, you just know when you see it. You don't have words to express it. You just know, like, oh, I don't know about that, but that's great. That's something. And Josh Allen, to me, he had a really good season. Some would argue that he kind of slid his way up into the MVP race. He might have, but when it comes to the playoffs, man, that's when you start to really write your legacy. Because a lot of teams, a lot of players have a lot of success in the regular season. But when it comes down to playoff football, to me personally, that's when I start looking at guys and how they start separating themselves from the field. And Josh Allen, for the most part, had a pretty underwhelming playoff. I mean, beat the Colts. It was a close game. Really didn't do much against the Ravens. Granted, he played really good defenses, but it doesn't matter. When you see guys like Patrick Mahomes, he's just going out doing his thing. Guy was on concussion protocol, had turf toe. Honestly, dude, when you watch that game, were any of you even thinking that he had those types of injuries? I know I wasn't. I was just sitting there like, man, these dudes are ridiculous. And I'm going to talk about them. Make sure if you guys are in the comment section, keep those questions coming. Appreciate you guys. Jen OCD. She's out there doing her thing with the questions. Appreciate you, girlfriend. Shout out to everybody that's in there. We're going to keep this show going. But yeah, so Buffalo Bills get a running game. You guys probably need another edge rusher, someone to rush the quarterback, because they really don't get after the quarterback, especially without blitzes. Now, if you can blitz, that's great. But when you're playing teams like Patrick Mahomes, you can't blitz. You got to have a guy back there who can just go after it and go get it. And that's the difference too. So good season. They're above average team. I'm not going to say they're elite. I did feel that the play calling offensively was kind of vanilla. When you're playing the Chiefs, field goals are just not going to cut it. They're just not. It's like basically you're trying to scoop out the ocean with a bucket. It really doesn't make any sense. So as far as the Packers are concerned, they got to figure out what they're going to do with Aaron Rodgers. Like literally, like he may be on the brink. He may not want to come back. So they're going to have to figure that out, because honestly, if they don't have him, they're done. I mean, I like Devontae Adams, but he's relying on who's throwing him the ball, like all wide receivers are. So defensively, man, they got some talent. Jair Alexander is a Pro Bowler. They do have a pass rush. So I think defense, they got to shore up some things. Mike Pettin needs to really kind of look in to see what he's going to do. Offensively, again, the offensive line did really good. They were down a few linemen this year. Backyardy, Bacchiardi. I can't ever say Ryan Bacchiardi, whatever his name is. I always forget his name, or I can't pronounce it right. He was out, so they really stepped up. Especially against the Rams and some other teams. So, but the real big piece is Aaron Rodgers, and once that shoe falls, then they can kind of know what exactly they need to do. Do I think that they're going to contend for a Super Bowl? Nah, because the NFL is just too competitive, and it seems like every year there's some other team coming out of nowhere. They're going to be consistent. To me, they're like the Saints. I feel like they had a window, and that window has closed. They're going to be competitive. They're going to be good, but I don't think they have enough at the end of the day to reach the top unless drastic changes are in order, and that drastic change might be having to move off of, Aaron Rodgers, or he just doesn't want to come back anymore. So that's what I think about that. So, Buffalo Bill fans, you guys had a good year. I know you guys were really excited. I don't know how many tables you guys went through. I need to probably get some stock in some table companies because I know probably in Buffalo, New York, you can't probably find a table because they're all busted up and broken through. So, and Packer fans, yet again, it's like you get so far, and then to get to that point, it's like, dang, you might as well have just been like my team, the Cowboys, and just lose from Jump Street. That way you don't have to go through this emotion because it sucks. It sucks to have like a 12-win season, and then just like that, it's over, and you're looking around like, damn, what happened? So let's see. Jason says, I don't think he'll go back. That's why the emotions are so high in the interview. Maybe we'll follow Favre and take my Vikings to the bowl. Huh? Vikings need a quarterback too. Well, that's down the line. I'm going to probably do some, analysis and breakdowns of some conferences, but who knows? Would he go to Minnesota? I don't know. And I know Green Bay ain't going to trade him there. That's for sure, Jason, but wishful thinking, my brother, wishful thinking. But if it happens, great. If not, I don't know what's going to happen. Let's see. Sandy says, I couldn't get past the second quarter before I got disgusted and turned it off. Yeah. So Packers are a very disappointing team, unfortunately. And I know my buddy Jack would probably feel the same way because, my co-host on All Pro Access, he's the Packers fan. And so I know he was pumped for that game. And I wanted to check on him last night, but I said, let me give him some space. Jen says they can build upon their 12-win season, getting defeated 2 years in a row in the championship. Yeah, they can always build. They can always be good. Like I said, they're going to be good. They have talent, but I don't know if they can get over the top. I really don't. Speaking of going over the top, man, hail to the Chiefs. They're heading back to a back-to-back Super Bowl appearance. Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Kelsey, Andy Reid, they look unstoppable. I mean, they really do. They spotted the Bills 9 points early on in that game. And I'm going to put my hand up, and most of you, wherever you are, put your hand up right now because I know you felt the same way. Most of you thought when they were down 9-0 that they would still end up and win this game. I literally was like, oh, it's only 9-0. That's nothing. They've come back down 24 points before. What's 9? No, 9 points is nothing to them. And just like that, I think they scored like 21 unanswered for sure. And then to finish out the game, it was like 36-12. So that's the Chiefs, man. A lot of people were concerned, going, especially in the month of December, even including myself, but I never went against them because I always tell people this. They got dudes, man. And I knew they were going to beat the Buffalo Bills. Why? Because the Bills don't have many dudes. Like Josh Allen was playing great, but he's not a dude yet. He's a guy, but he's not a dude yet. Stephon Diggs, he has dude-ish types of traits, but he's dependent on a quarterback to get him the ball. And they basically just got rid. I mean, they effectively took him out the game. I think he only ended up with like 66 yards, no touchdowns, had no imprint on the game whatsoever. And that's why I felt like no matter what the score is or who they're playing, they got dudes, man. Fine. You want to take away Tyreek Hill? That's cool. We'll go to Kelsey over the middle. Oh, fine. You want to take Kelsey? I'll go back to Tyreek Hill. You want to take Tyreek Hill or Kelsey away? I'll just hand the ball off to Mecole Hardman. They got guys everywhere, man, and they fit so well in that system. It's like they never look pressed. They never look uncomfortable in games. Just let's look at Patrick Mahomes. Think about it, right? Think about his demeanor. And then you think about guys like Aaron Rodgers when he's losing or down. Aaron Rodgers got like this grumpy face and he's like, super serious. Mahomes is like, oh, okay, it's 9-0. Like, oh, hey, where are we going tomorrow? for dinner. Right. Exactly, Jen. It's all mental with them. Like no lead is too far for them to come back from. That's how I feel. Like they literally can spot teams 100 points and be like, well, we'll catch up because they can do that. And that's why this Super Bowl is going to be so great, which I'm going to talk about the Super Bowl on Sunday, but what they're able to do, and like they sucked in the month of December. They literally were like, you know what, dude, we're gonna make the playoffs. It doesn't matter for the 1 seed or the 7 seed. We just need to get in the tournament and we're gonna win. That's really what matters. Because honestly, it didn't matter if you're a 1 seed or not, because there's no home field advantage really this year with the pandemic. Now I know they brought in fans, but it was like it's not the same like having a full blown stadium, full to capacity. You know, Mahomes didn't play exceptionally well in the end of the month, but he kind of did because he still rattled off a ton of yards and a lot of touchdowns, but he didn't have the type of wins in the stats that we've grown accustomed to because we're so used to seeing them just throw the ball down the field. It's like they're like the Golden State Warriors of football. And that's what I always say. They're never out of games. They can score at will and they can rattle off points just as fast as you can say, oh crap. So 9 points, the Bills, it's like, I know Bills fans were like, yeah. But really everybody else in the league was like 9 points. It might as well be 0-0 at that point. So hail to the Chiefs. I mean, I'm a Cowboys fan, but I think I find myself watching a lot more Chiefs games. They're just so exciting to watch, man. The way they move the ball it's so effortlessly. They have a running game. Is it like Derrick Henry? No, it's not. But it's effective. They're just effective. And really that's what it boils. Their defense isn't like a top tier defense. It's kind of middle of the road, but they got dudes on that side too, man. They got dudes everywhere, man. Tyrann Mathieu, Jones. I mean, they got dudes everywhere. And they're always going to be in games. Why? Because they got these types of players. And they got one of the best offensive minds right now in the NFL. I don't want to give away too much because I'm going to talk about the Super Bowl with my boy Daniel Cameron from D Sports Ledger on Wednesday. So make sure you tune in on that show. But dude, man, like you can't. They're like it's like Tom Brady. You can't hate on them. They're just good. It sucks, yeah, especially when they're beating your team, but they're good. And if you're a fan of a sport, you just gotta respect the fact that they're good, man. And like I said, this Super Bowl is gonna be great. You got the GOAT. We're going up against the young GOAT in training, or not in training. I mean, he's almost there. He wins this Super Bowl. I mean, how many more Super Bowls can he win? A lot more, as long as these guys stay healthy, because most of their guys are paid. Mahomes is on a contract, Kelsey's on the contract, Hill's on the contract, and I'm pretty sure they're going to add to the pot eventually. So hail to the Chiefs, man. They could just turn it on and off. It's hard in sports to say that about a team or a player because it's not something that you could do. But like what Jen said, they got this mental advantage over teams that they literally can just turn it on and off. And it's cool. Because I felt like in December, they probably just coasted it. They were like, you know what? Let's get healed up a little bit. Let's not let's not go too hard because we still got the postseason. And once we get to the postseason, it's all go. You look at last week, when they played the Browns, everyone was, oh, the rust and all that. Dude, they scored on every possession that they had except for one. At least when Patrick Mahomes is in the game. So I'm excited about the Super Bowl, man. I really cannot. I wish Super Bowl would be like this Sunday right now because they're just fun to watch. And I wish my Cowboys were like that, but the Cowboys just suck. And it's just because of the ownership, and we'll never be like that. What you got to say, Sandy? Sandy says, not just the mental, but they have the heart and the drive to win. Absolutely. Absolutely, Sandy, they do. They do. They have a great head coach. They got great staff coaches on their sideline. Look, here's the thing. To me, the Chiefs, their fans are not overly annoying. I mean, they're cool. You know what I mean? The Hunt family, like, you don't really hear too much about them. Like, they're like vanilla ice cream. Probably maybe cookies and cream because they do got some pizzazz to them, right? But what I mean by that is like, they're just neutral. Like, some teams you hear, you're like, oh, I hate that team. Like you say the Cowboys. Oh, you get so many emotions out of people. Oh, they suck. The Cowgirls. They ain't won nothing. Blah, blah, blah. Or you say the Patriots. Oh, the cheaters. Oh, Bill Belichick. It's like, they don't have and that's why you can't really root against them. So I'm not for them, but I'm not definitely against them. I just like the product that they put out on the field, man. So I don't know. That's just my thoughts on the Kansas City Chiefs. So hail to the Chiefs, man, and hopefully we'll see if they can get it done against Tom Brady. But I mean, I don't know. I'm still deciding on how am I going to pick that game, man. Let me know what you guys think. Who's going to win this Super Bowl? All right. So to close this show out tonight, man, I'm going to just be a little bit serious. Um, it's almost a year ago tomorrow that we lost the great NBA legend, Kobe Bryant. He died tragically in a helicopter accident with his daughter, Gianna Bryant, as they were traveling to, I believe, a game in Calabasas, California. Now, when I got the news, it was the day before my birthday, because, yes, I'll be 37 Wednesday. So, make sure you hop on the show Wednesday and shout me out some birthday wishes. But so I remember literally I was sitting on the couch with my family, and my phone buzzes, and I see CNN, and it says Kobe Bryant has passed away in a helicopter crash. And I was like, no, that can't be real. And I remember literally, my kids were watching something. I said, I need the remote. And I tuned in to CNN, and I could not believe what I saw. Like, and even to this day, like when I see his picture, I'm a Laker fan. I grew up in LA. Staples Center is near and dear to me, just LA in period. And Kobe Bryant was LA. He was part of LA. Yes, rest in peace, Mamba. William Flowers says, yep. But do you guys remember where you were at when you heard the news, and what were your thoughts? What were your initial actions? I just remembered, like, just in disbelief. I remember I was, my parents were in town. I was sitting there with my wife and my kids, and we were just all on our phones trying to figure out, is this true? Like, how, this is Kobe Bryant. Like, it's just sad, man. And, and Jen says, she was at a meeting with a friend and she just had to leave. Yes, absolutely. I feel you, Jen. Jen's from California as well too, and she knows what he meant to Southern California. Not just LA, but Southern California, and the fact that he lost his daughter too, that kind of hit home for those who have kids. I have kids, and the fact that what I kept thinking, like, what were those last moments in that helicopter? What do you tell your kid or your loved one? And the other, I mean, he not only did he pass away and his daughter, there were several family or other members of friends and teammates that were on there. So, rest in peace to those people. Hopefully, their families can kind of, I know, maybe not fully recovered, but, they're healing a lot better. It's just so sad. But my favorite Kobe Bryant moment, and there were so many, but what really made me a big fan of his was, I forgot. I think it was the 2003, 2002 finals. It was their first finals against the Indiana Pacers. Shaq fouls out there. I think it's like game 5 in Indiana. The game goes into overtime. I think he's battling like a wrist injury or something like that. And he goes in and he drops like 12 unanswered points. And I remember watching that game in my room back in LA, because I was in high school still then. I was like a junior. And I remember watching that game, and I just was like, man, he, and ever since then, I mean, outside of like basketball, there aren't many athletes like him today. A lot of them try to be like him. They say the Mamba mentality, but it's one thing to say it, but to actually live the Mamba mentality is a whole nother meaning. And what he was able to do and market that Mamba mentality, and not even just market it, but it's really a way of life. And I think that with him gone now, I would have loved to seen or hear from him now, especially what's going on in the world, because he was a great basketball player, but he was very intellectual, very thoughtful. He knew his stuff. He just wasn't a basketballer. He had a very, very good, positive business acumen. I mean, I think he won like an Emmy or something like that. He helped, create a multi-million dollar company in body armor. So he definitely was doing stuff outside of basketball. I mean, literally, he was a very talented guy, and his daughter was very talented, up and coming hooper. But he was not just a Laker. He belonged to everybody. He belonged to everybody. He won an Oscar. Yes, thank you, Jen. He won an Oscar. He belonged to everybody. And Kobe Bryant, God rest in peace, brother. I still, to this day, it's hard watching Laker games and not thinking about him and not, and I watch some of these old games. I'll be like the other day, the game that he's dropped 81 on Toronto, that was on TV. And I remember that game because I had just gotten off the plane. I was in the service. I got deployed to Iraq. I had just got off the plane, checked into my unit, and they had the game up. And I remember the guy was like, "Yeah, man, Kobe's he's got like 65 points right now. It's the third quarter." I was like, "Wow." And I remember him dropping 81. So I'm just right now, I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, wow. So we lost a legend, not only on the court, but off the court. I would have loved to just seen what his reactions would be now today, especially what we got going on in the world with politics and all these other athletes. I really feel like athletes should really take a page out of Kobe Bryant. And sometimes you don't always have to say something, you know, you don't always have to be the first one on Twitter or social media. Sometimes you just got to let things come in, you soak it in, and then you can come back correctly. But Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, and everyone else on the family who lost their lives that day, almost a year ago tomorrow. So, kind of sombering, but I would be remiss, me being from LA and not even talking about Kobe Bryant. That would just be blasphemous. So, but let's get some reactions here. Yeah, Sandy says she was at home watching with the kids, and we all just broke down and cried. Right? It's definitely, Jen says he won loyalty to one team. Like he had his moment where he wanted to get a trade out of there, but at the end of the day, he reconsidered and said, "You know what? I'm a Laker through and through." So, and not like guys are not going to do that. They're just not going to do that. Sandy says he wasn't in the game. All about the big day. Yep. And don't get me wrong, LeBron's a great player, but he's not Kobe Bryant. He's not Kobe Bryant. He's definitely not Kobe Bryant. And a lot of athletes are not like Kobe Bryant. So rest in peace, Kobe. So I'll leave it on that note. You guys make sure you guys watch the show. Make sure you like and share this the content right now. It helps me out tremendously. The more people like and comment and share, it helps us grow my podcast even more because I'm not done. I just started this podcast back end of April. I started audio, worked my way up. And now I am here right now with you guys live, enjoying every minute of it. I love doing the show. I love getting on. Shout out to everybody out there. Shout out to my family because they know it. My wife and my kids, I spend a lot of time creating this stuff, creating content, creating all the graphics that you see, So it does take time. So shout out to them. They're the MVPs. But shout out to you guys that were in the room tonight. Sandy, Jen, Diddy, William Flowers, Jason, everyone else. I hope I didn't miss anybody else. Or if you were in the room, you didn't say nothing, but that's cool too. That's fine. Maybe next time. My aunt Alejandra from Belize. Appreciate you guys. I'm international now, but make sure you check out the next show live on Wednesday, same time at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. My boy Daniel Cameron from the D Sports Ledger. He's a sports handicapper. He'll be out. He'll be on the show again, trying to win you guys some money. We'll talk about that and some other topics that'll pop off as well too. It'll be my birthday. I'll be 37. Who would have thought that? But other than that, man, I had a blast tonight. I hope you guys did too. Stay warm, be safe out there too. And we'll catch you on the next show. This is Clutch Sports Talk Live with me, Ryan Flowers. Never settle till the work is done. Peace out, guys. Clutch Sports Talk Live with Ryan Flowers is presented by All Pro Digital Sports, the future in sports media content. You heard?